Welcome back. It's still Sunrise Daily on Channels Television, and we're bringing you our Independence edition, anniversary edition, a continuation from October 1. We still have with us in our Kano studio Professor Hafiz Abubakar, former Deputy Governor of Kano State and former Chairman, National University Commission. Of course, we still have with us Mr. Billy Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, grandson of the first Prime Minister of Nigeria. And we have joining us in our Lagos studio, we'll come to him shortly, Professor Chris Imumolen, academic entrepreneur and politician. It's a convergence of academics on the program today. Let me now come to you, Professor Hafiz Abubakar. Thank you for joining us on the program. The president's speech is still in scrutiny as we reflect on nation building this morning. Mr. Abubakar Mr. Tafawa Balewa has lauded that speech as containing positives and pointing us in the right direction as far as unity is concerned. But is it elaborate enough, particularly amid calls this time around for restructuring?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Go ahead,
Thank you very much for the opportunity to have a word in this auspicious occasion of 63rd anniversary. I have listened to the many contributions. I want to totally agree with the last contributor, Mr. Billy Tafawa Balewa. Quite a beautiful speech. It has quite a lot of positives, but the problem remains the issue of translating the talks into actions, walking, as he said, the talk. I think this has been one of the greatest challenges of our country. Our leaders talk beautifully, but it happens that in the end, there's a serious disconnect between their tongues and their hearts. And this is exceptionally one of the key deficits in our leadership in this country. We don't lead by example. We believe that propaganda can take us through from the time of campaign to election and to governance, all through using the instruments of propaganda to lead our people. We as a people have been known globally to be very religious. Unfortunately, we are very religious, but the more the index of religion goes higher, the less the fear of God, because the backbone of any religion should be the fear of the God that you worship, which is very, very low in our country. And God's fear actually is the backbone of truthful and purposeful leadership. Because only a leader that fears his God, that will be fair, just, and equitable in the administration of his people. And that is seriously lacking in our country. Ours is a blessed nation that is being settled. The whole world accepts. Many of us Nigerians have now accepted that this is a beloved, blessed nation of human, material, and other resources to be able to have a veritable place in the global map. But unfortunately, I think we have been our own enemies. And the key deficit is that of leadership. Leadership deficit has been our bane, and there is very little hope, actually, in that regard, because there is serious dominance by the wrong people of all sectors of leadership. My friend has just talked. The foundation, the system we are operating, the federal system, we are supposed to have 3 tiers of government, but we all know we only have one. We are supposed to have the local government, the state, and the federal government. And one of the key things now at this point, when we are going through very difficult times, the federal government itself, is not very sure of how it navigates these supposed to be short-term difficulties in taking the right decision for the long term. But to be able to administer the palliatives that can take care and take the common man and the common Nigerian through these difficult times is almost proven to be nowhere to be found and impossible. And one of the key reasons why it's so difficult is because we have wrecked the local government system. We have made it subservient to the state, and it is just an extension of the corrupt system of the state. So we are finding it very difficult. Just imagine if we had a proper local government system. It would have been very, very easy for us to cooperate between the local government, the state government, and the federal government to be able to bring a lot of succor to our people under these difficult times, and even in times of prosperity. That was the essence. That was the thinking of those who have proposed for this three-tier level of government. And these are the tiers that are working everywhere, whether it's the parliamentary system, whether it's the corporate parliamentary system, whether it's the presidential system, whether it is the communist or socialist system. These tiers, especially the local government tier, exists, and it functions very, very well. And that's why we, as Nigeria, we travel all around, we appreciate the developments that we see around. It is part of the reason for us to appreciate that. Unless that third tier of government works properly, it is almost impossible for you to bring about development to the lowest level of the people. And we are seeing it at this time. I want to believe the federal government has very good intention of wanting to bring succor to the people. But the environment is not there, unfortunately. The federal government alone cannot shoulder that responsibility. We are running a federal system. So these tiers of government have to be in total cooperation, and they have to be functional. But when you have already made the local governments to be appendages of the state government, and in the leadership recruitment system, the same extremely unfit, corrupt, people that don't fear God, either their personal or official lives, they don't fear God, because it is only somebody who doesn't fear God that will be saying what he doesn't mean from his heart. If you take two beautiful speeches, you will believe that, oh, our leaders understand all our challenges, and they even understand the solutions. But that is not the case. When it comes to practice, oh, I think everybody knows the answer in this country.
But Professor Professor Hafiz, would you say that the local governments, while you served in Kano State, enjoyed as much financial autonomy that would have given them the independence, to provide good governance at the grassroots?
It doesn't start with financial economy, independence. It starts with the leadership recruitment system, fundamentally. If the leadership recruitment system is faulty, which is the case now, you recall there has been a lot of cries from people to scrap the state independent electoral commissions because they have just been bastions of corruption and strengthening this bad leadership recruitment process. It's a first step. I'm not saying INEC is perfect, but it would have lessened the problem we are facing in the leadership recruitment system. You have to recruit the right people at the local government level before you come to the independence, financial independence. I think the last administration had tried to remit funds to the local governments directly. But what happens when they even do that? Because of the very bad leadership at the level of the local government and the state government, and they have been stooges and cronies of the state governors and their aides, What happened? Majority of the funds have been just round-tripped back to those that have appointed them there or selected them there. Many people are not participating in even the state organized local government election. Many, substantial number. So when you look at even the level of apathy, if you look at the numbers, those elections shouldn't even stand. When 10%, 12%, 5% of the eligible electors are the ones voting in those sham state-organized elections, you see that there is a fundamental issue, and that is of the leadership recruitment process itself. So personally, you need to address the leadership recruitment process before you come to the issue of the independence of funding.
Professor Hafiz, and some would even say that the reasons that they may be stooges as local government chairmen in the first place, are debatable besides the concern about the leadership recruitment process.